For the first time, House impeachment investigators are hearing testimony from someone who was actually on the call between President Trump and Ukraine's president. His name is Lieutenant Colonel Alexander Vindman. He's the White House's top national security expert on Ukraine. In just a few hours, it's scheduled to begin at 9:30. He will testify to lawmakers that he told his superiors twice that military aid was being improperly tied to politics.
This morning's interview comes 2 days before House Speaker Nancy Pelosi plans to hold the first formal vote on the impeachment inquiry. Nancy Cordes is on Capitol Hill. Nancy, why is Vindman's testimony so significant?
Well, because he is the first current White House official to testify, and because he is saying in his opening statement that he found the president's actions improper, and that he even went to White House lawyers this summer to warn that Mr. Trump had asked his Ukrainian counterpart to investigate a campaign rival. Alexander Vindman is an Iraq War veteran who oversees Ukraine policy at the National Security Council. He'll tell congressional investigators today that he grew concerned after listening in on the president's July phone call. I did not think it was proper to demand that a foreign government investigate a U.S. citizen. The request to investigate Biden and his son had nothing to do with national security, he says, adding that he warned NSC's lead counsel that such a partisan play would undoubtedly result in Ukraine losing the bipartisan support it has thus far maintained. This would all undermine U.S. national security.
There was no anything. There was no pressure put on him, no anything.
The president continues to deny that he withheld military aid and a coveted meeting in an attempt to extract those promises. But the evidence to the contrary is piling up. House Democrats will introduce a resolution this week laying out procedures for public hearings and outlining due process rights for the president and his counsel.
The resolution will set forth procedures that the committee will use.
But Republicans who had pushed for such a vote slammed the decision.
I strongly oppose any attempt to legitimize this Soviet-style impeachment process.
And the White House says it may not cooperate, even if the resolution passes.
It just proves our point that this was illegitimate and ill-conceived from the beginning.
Nancy, House Speaker Pelosi sent a letter to her Democratic colleagues announcing this new resolution. What's behind that move?
Well, she says that this is just meant to lay out procedures for the next phase in this impeachment inquiry, and that she's not bowing to GOP pressure to hold a vote. But at the same time, Anthony, here's how she describes the vote. She says, quote, it should eliminate any doubt as to whether the Trump administration may withhold documents, prevent witness testimony, or continue obstructing the House of Representatives. The White House demanded this vote, but now aides tell us they are not going to decide whether to cooperate until they get to see whether the president is granted all the due process rights that they've been demanding, including the right to call and cross-examine their own witnesses.
Nancy Cordes at the Capitol. Thanks, Nancy.